And welcome back, folks, here to Out to Lunch on WRMN, the voice of the valley and the talk of the town. It is our Foodie Friday segment. This is the segment where we take a recipe from you, the listeners out there, a suggestion, whether it's your own personal recipe or something that you found online. Maybe you found it many years ago. Maybe you found it in a cookbook. Maybe it's something that you've made yourself. Maybe it's something you've never tried before. You just quickly grabbed it online. You're like, hey, this looks like something interesting that I want to try out, or even have Matt McNeil talk a little bit about here on the Out to Lunch Foodie Friday segment. So Greg sent over a pretty delicious looking recipe, and you can get a little Sicilian with this one too. He does say, quote, "It's a lot of work, but well worth it." He says this is an epic recipe. Now, thank you, Greg, for telling me how to pronounce this. It is braciole. Braciole. This is a Sicilian Sunday treat and a dish that is originally, well, I know a little bit of the history of it, but I know that Rachel Ray does make it. I know that she did make it, I think it was back around like 2002, 2003 on her network, the Food Network, back in the days. You remember that? Oh my goodness. I used to watch that when I was a kid. I know she's Sicilian from her mother too, so she definitely, she's got that Italian look to her. Very cool. But with that being said, that is Rachel Ray's Sicilian Sunday braciole. And this is a rolled meat. And we're going to talk a little bit about it here too. Now, how do you make this in particular? Now, if you do want to watch the video, it is available. He did send, there is a link to the video that you can find. This is from, it was like back in the early 2000s. So bring some of that nostalgia back if you're watching the video. But you can find it online here. It's on YouTube, How to Make Rachel's Beef Braciole, 30-minute meals with Rachel Ray on the Food Network. So, oh my gosh, I mean, look, look at that, the kitchen, that microwave there. It's kind of that futuristic late 90s cyber futuristic look to it. Oh my goodness, those were the days. Anyway, with that being said, let's hop into this recipe and see what it requires. So first and foremost, when it comes to making this delicious braciole, you want to make sure that you've got everything that you need. Ingredients include 5 tablespoons extra virgin olive oil to start off there. Then you're going to need 2 small or medium onions that are finely chopped. Finely chopping them is going to be very important to do so. Then you're going to need 6 cloves of garlic, thinly sliced or finely chopped. You want to make sure you get them finely and thinly chopped so that they can all come together and spread around a little bit more to get more flavor in there. You also get 2 tablespoons of sun-dried tomato paste or tomato paste. Then also a teaspoon of dried oregano, about 2 teaspoons of chili flakes, roughly 2/3 of a palmful. You can kind of eyeball it a little bit for yourself, depending on how much you would like, but it's about 2 teaspoons of the chili flakes. Add a little bit of kick to the ingredient, until the final product. Then you add 2 cups of white wine. Now, when I first saw this, I thought to myself, doesn't red wine kind of work with it too? It's up to you what you like, but white wine is what is in this ingredient here. Also, you add a cup of beef or chicken stock, 2 cups of passata or tomato sauce, a can 28 ounces of Italian tomatoes, a handful of basil leaves to your liking, a chunk of rind of Parmigiano Reggiano, if I'm trying to pronounce that correctly in the Italian side of things there. You also get some salt and pepper, half a cup of pine nuts toasted. Make sure they're toasted first. You can buy them at the store too. A zest of 1 lemon, a cup packed of chopped up baby arugula. You also get the baby kale or flat leafy parsley tops, up to you what you want there. 8 to 10 pieces of top round beef. Thinly sliced, important there, thinly sliced, pounded to 1/8 of an inch. So they must be quite thin. Then you get 8 slices of the prosciutto di Parma. Also a cup of homemade or store-bought bread crumbs that are toasted. 3/4 cups of grated parm, and then grated provolone cheese also, and then about a 1/4 cup of currants soaked in hot water and then also drained. Now this does roughly serve about 6 people. In a Dutch oven for preparation, to heat the 2 tablespoons of EVOO or EVO, that's the oil there, over medium heat. Then what you do is you add 1 onion, you finely chop it, and 2 cloves of garlic, and then you soften it for roughly 2 to 3 minutes. After that, then you start adding some of the paste. You add the paste, then you add the oregano, and then half of the red chili flakes. You stir it for about a minute, make sure everything is all compiled together, and then you add 1 cup of wine to help to get it all soaking, a little bit more soaking in there, in that alcohol, that 1 cup of wine, and then evaporate to a 1/4 cup. Then you add stock, passata, and tomatoes, and then you add a few leaves of torn basil, reserving some for garnish, and reduce the heat to a simmer, and then you add that cheese rind. Next on the list here, you preheat the oven, of course, to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and in a small skillet over medium heat, you add 1 tablespoon of that oil, soften remaining onions, and garlic to tender the season with salt and pepper. You cool it a little bit, then you combine it with the nuts, the lemon zest, the chopped greens, and of course the remaining chili flakes to add it on top. Then the seasoned pounded out meat you season pounded out meat with the salt and pepper. You arrange a sliced prosciutto on each side of the slice of the beef, and then you top with cooked onions and green mixture, and then the bread crumbs, Parmesan and provolone, leaving a little bit of a border of about 1 inch. Then you tuck in the sides of the beef and you roll lengthwise tightly. You secure the rolls with kitchen string, it says. Then you heat a large cast iron skillet. Again, I know this is a little bit of some labor-intensive work here, like Greg said, but it is definitely worth it. You, again, heat the large cast iron skillet. They do recommend you use that Evo, that oil there, the extra virgin olive oil. That's what it means, Evo, extra virgin olive oil. And then the brown beef eventually, and then you brown the beef eventually evenly all over the top there. And then you add that remaining cup of wine and you evaporate it. Place the beef into the Dutch oven with the sauce, scraping in bits from the bottom of the skillet. You bring it to a simmer. You cover and place it in the oven. Cook for 2 hours, basting every 30 minutes. Uncover the pot for the lasting hour for cooking, and then you are ready to serve it. So it is definitely a lot of work. You got to make sure you have other people helping you, but it's a lot of fun to do. So if you want to watch the video for yourself, you can find it. It is available on YouTube, brought to you by the Food Network on YouTube, 30-minute meals you can check out. So you can see some of the pictures here on the screen from the video. You can see that she does chop up some things. She does put in some of that salt and pepper. She grinds it up, making sure that all of it is there and together. Those meats are thinly sliced, pounded, and of course rolled up as well. You definitely want to make sure that you get them nice and rolled up. And of course, the way to do that is to make sure that they are pounded very thinly. Then of course, you use that skillet, make sure it is all combined together. You mix them up, you fry them up, you make them good. And then of course, you add those spices and more to that. You put that wine in there as well. You mix it up, you put it all together into the oven, and then there you go. Voila. It's there. Now, it does seem like a little bit of a smaller thing there too, so just make sure that you do get enough meat, that you have enough meat there as well. It is definitely kind of a labor-intensive thing, especially if it's a really hot day outside, so just make sure that you are wearing proper equipment and things like that. Now, again, what's kind of the cut of meat that you can use? Well, you can use a flank steak, for example. That's something that in this particular instance, Rachel Ray did use, was a flank steak. And again, she said, you can just really use any kind of meat. Just make sure to pound it there. So, but that flank steak is going to be really rich, of course, in that flavor if you do use it. It does kind of look a little bit like a sausage, but in fact, it's not. Well, there you go. I just heard some. I don't know if it was someone. I don't know. I think we're fine. And honking noises. Anyway, with that being said, of course, you can find that and more information posted on there. I'm trying to see if there were any more images. There's not a ton of specific images on the site I was given. I don't know. It could just be a connection on my end there. But if you want to look it up, there's a lot of different other ways that you can make it. So it is a very diverse one to have, with sort of the basis of making sure it's meat that's wrapped up. It's kind of basic to that there. Add a little bit of that wine to it to really make it that Sicilian treat to have. So again, if you want to check it out, looks pretty delicious. It really does look like an Italian sausage from a certain angle. But with that being said, of course, it's a nice dish to try out if you've never done it before, something you want to, try out. And again, I would say, have some help. Have the kids help out. Growing up as a kid, I always help out with the meals when I was a little kid. And now, of course, I do some of the cooking on my own, and I have a great time doing that. So teach the kids to do some of this fun cooking. It is definitely a great life skill to have, especially maybe someday they live on their own and you don't want them to just end up having carryouts all the time. You want them to be able to become a connoisseur, a good chef, right? Even if it's something very simple as well. So thank you again, Greg, to sending me over for sending me over this recipe here. A little bit more of quite a bit of ingredients in there too, but that means that you're getting a load of different flavor. So very, very good. Definitely. We've got JoJo's Goodies and More coming into the comments section. Can I also say, JoJo, and I mean this wholeheartedly, your treats are some of the best I've ever had. Seriously. I'm not even kidding. I had one of your cookies yesterday. So good. So JoJo, Goodies and More, you have some delicious treats. Definitely check her out for sure. She says, yes, LOL, I love those days, back in the old days of the 2000s. Greg here also in the comments says, I add just a tiny bit of lemon zest or omit it altogether. Sometimes it can overpower and ruin the recipe. So that's good to know too. It ends up being like a decadent meatball, he says, that sounds pretty good. Definitely very delicious for sure. So if you want to check out some more meal plans and more, you can visit many different local Food Network sites, or of course, tune in every Friday to Foodie Fridays here on WRMN. Thank you, of course, to Greg for sending over that delicious looking recipe. I think our family is definitely going to have to give it a try.